RMJ Movie Reviews back again, and I'm coming with an on-the-fly movie review of the new Peter Berg film starring Mark Wahlberg, Deepwater Horizon. Based on a true story. I did not, or at least right offhand, I do not remember hearing about Deepwater Horizon when it very first happened. I kind of had to look at some of the more newer clips and stuff on the internet now that the film has been released to become more familiar with it. But basically, it tells the story of oil riggers out on this oil rig in the middle of the ocean off the Gulf. And you got some guys who work for BP and they're supposed to be doing these tests. Apparently, the oil rig had already been going through a lot of problems, according to the guys who actually work on the rig. The BP cats came in and just like, hey, everything's all good. Let's just get this machine flowing. Everything's all good. You're overreacting. And the guys are saying, hey, there's a lot of problems. The manager who runs the oil rig, he's like, hey, look, the test wasn't done properly. I need you to come back in and make sure that there's no kind of negative pressure so that this sucker doesn't blow. We need to make sure that this thing is functioning properly so we can go about our day, because if it ain't, it's going to endanger everybody's lives, blah, blah, blah. The BP guys are like, well, look, I got to report back to my boss. Who gives a crap? This thing is working fine. So anyway, they perform a test, and lo and behold, everything goes wrong, and an explosion happens. The pressure, that there was negative pressure. The rig explodes, and basically everybody is fighting for their lives. It's a very harrowing movie. I really, really enjoyed this film a lot. Peter Berg, I remember Peter Berg all the way back when he was in Shocker, before he became a director, back when he was an actor. And I just really enjoyed this film. Lone Survivor, that was one of my first movie reviews that I ever did on YouTube. Um, so if anybody wants to, they can refer back to that very first review that I ever put up on my channel, which was Lone Survivor. So it kind of comes full circle now that I'm doing another based on a true story movie with Mark Wahlberg, directed by Peter Berg. But I love this film. I really, really, really love this film. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was enthralled from beginning to end. Uh, I don't know what it is about these movies where people have to fight for their survival and band together. They're very moving films. Um, Going to the acting, Mark Wahlberg delivers as always. Nothing spectacular stand out with his performance or anything, but he does what's called for the role, and he was good. Kurt Russell and John Malkovich are pretty much the scene stealers here. Two vets who, regardless of the fact that they're getting up there, but they still bring it, man. Kurt Russell still has just like that. I don't know what it is where Kurt Russell can really play that kind of no BS kind of blue collar worker kind of guy, but also deliver like with kind of a little bit of a giggle, with a laugh. And he does that in all his performances. He even did it in Dark Blue, you know what I mean, with a much, much darker character. But Kurt Russell brings that again, kind of that Snake Plissken toughness, and he brings a little bit of that kind of fatherly. Now it's fatherly love in this film. In Backdraft, it was brotherly love. He brings a little bit of that Backdraft toughness here, and he delivers a solid performance. John Malkovich, Lenny from of Mice and Men, and Cyrus the Virus from Con Air. I haven't seen Malkovich in a movie in a long time, and he just delivers. And he's got like this. Everybody has a southern accent in this movie because it takes place down south. And there's a couple points where he's speaking in this southern accent that I could barely even really make out what he was saying. I kind of was like, dang, I wish I could rewind it. But when I get it on Blu-ray, I'll be able to rewind it or put the closed caption on. But there was a couple times I didn't understand what he was saying. But he really played the role of that smarmy corporate guy, or at least corporate henchman, very well. And I love how the movie really shows that dichotomy. That's a dichotomy of every real job, where you've got the higher up corporate type of people who come in and make a little special guest appearance on the battlefield every here and there, when the blue collar workers who are down there doing the dirty work know what's happening. And the guys who are just coming in doing their inspections and questioning the people who are doing the hard work are so out of touch. And that's I think that's probably everybody around the world can probably relate to that, who works in any kind of job. And I like how they emphasize the realness of that. That's just reality. That's very real. Um, so I like that aspect. I also like the action sequences. The action sequences are very much a la the Poseidon Adventure. It kind of have a little bit of that Spielbergian kind of touch to it, where it's a little bit over the top fantasy, but you still got the human characters that make it feel real, even though it's based on a true story. But I will say one of the most harrowing moments to me in the film was, and I found out that I was reading that the real guy, Mike, oh God, I'm sorry y'all if I forget his last name, but this guy really jumped off this oil rig in real life. In the movie, Mark Wahlberg and this other actress jump off the oil rig into this fire blazed water, and he did that in real life. And that was a harrowing moment for me. I usually don't get touched in films. It depends, you know what I mean? Mississippi Burning, Rosewood, Schindler's List. Those are movies that really touch me. Saving Private Ryan. Those are films that really touch me. Platoon, that kind of stuff. But man, when Mark Wahlberg looked at her and said, "Look, we got to jump off this thing," and she just had this look in her eye where she was like, "I don't want to die," and he's just like, "Well, look, you ain't got no other choice. You don't stay here and burn, or we got to go over. What's up?" And he's basically gonna put it. I'm not gonna give it away. I'm not gonna give it away, but it was a very harrowing moment, and emotionally, it was harrowing in the way it was shot. I mean, and I saw Peter Berg do an interview where he said he felt like he wanted to put the audience in it. And man, that moment when they jump off, because everybody knows they're gonna jump off. We already know, so I'm not giving away anything. But just the emotion of Wahlberg and the other actress, excuse me, I didn't look her up on IMDb, but I've seen her before. I can't remember her name. But in the other actress and the music and the fire and then the way it's shot when they go off, I mean, it was just very harrowing and very thrilling and very exciting. Those moments are the whole reason I love film and why I go to the movies and why when I see people doing bootlegs and all that kind of stuff and they watch it at their house, that stuff does not play when you're watching a bootleg in your house on your flat screen. I know flat screens got the surround sound and all that. That's great. But nothing beats watching harrowing moments like that in a gigantic theater with a room full of people with the surround sound and the comfortable chairs and the popcorn. And I don't care how good your theater system is, it will never beat actually being in a theater like that. And it was a harrowing moment. That is hands down my favorite moment in the entire film was when they jumped off the rig. I love that scene. I absolutely love it. I like, BS kind of schlock, Toxic Avenger entertainment, Friday the 13th entertainment. I love that stuff. And I love very good films like this too. And I love the Goodfellas and the Gone with the Winds and all of that stuff. I love that too. But I will say, the reason I want to be a filmmaker and an actor and make films is because of moments like that. Moments that just touch you. And it just is this visceral feeling where it brings something out inside of you emotionally where at that moment, I mean, with all the special effects and all that stuff, that was great in the action. But that was the moment where I totally disconnected and forgot that I was watching a film. I was in it. I was in it and I was with them and I said, man, baby, you got to jump off this thing. And it had me thinking I would jump off too, but I don't want to get burned. Am I gonna drown when I go in the water? I don't know. And that's the beauty of film, is when they get you like that. So I love this film. I highly recommend it. I loved it. I loved it. Did I like it more than Lone Survivor? I think I might like Lone Survivor a smidge a little bit better, but they're both fantastic movies. This movie was great. I loved it. I just absolutely loved it. So that's my review of Deepwater Horizon. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and leave comments down below about Deepwater Horizon, the performances, the actors, the music, the action, Peter Berg's direction. Peter Berg as an actor from his older career. Great film, y'all. RMJ Movie Reviews. I will see you all soon.